Look, charge it to the game, then I got caught up with the Jakes. Trapping rain, sleet, hail, snow, I gotta get the cake. They thought I fell off, I'm well off, I'm at a higher rate. It's been that time for me to kick it up, I'm sorry for the wait. I've been the hardest in the city, ain't no time for the debate. Whoever feeling any different, they can step up and get it. I'm talking ball for ball, who going hard like Nino in the paint. I'm really going off, I'm certified, hold a lot of weight. If I ever go broke, just know that it won't be a good feeling. Take the money like you got it, your life will get took with it.
Yo, what's up, man? What's up? We here with another one, man. Some more hip-hop and news. News and hip-hop. Unfortunate, man, violent incidents occurring in hip-hop, man. But this ain't no long live. Just came to talk about it real quick, man. But if you look at the title, it says Joe Budden jumped in a Queen strip club. So yes, it's just being reported in the past hour or so that former MC podcast extraordinaire, got one of the biggest podcasts out here on the Joe Budden network. Joe Budden, the rapper Joe Budden and podcast owner, host, was jumped in a Queen strip club on Saturday night, allegedly over disrespecting, incarcerated podcaster Taxstone. If you're not familiar with Taxstone, that's the one that got caught up in the situation where he crashed out in the situation with Troy Ave in Irving Plaza in New York back in 2017. And he was recently, handed a hefty sentence for that. But it was allegedly over disrespect and over Joe Budden telling and inviting Taxstone to the Frank stand, if you know what I mean. You know what I'm saying? Which is disrespectful to say to another man. It's highly disrespectful. And if you're dealing with a real man, it's probably going to be an issue over you inviting another man to your Johnson or to the Frank stand. So apparently he was in a strip club Saturday night, and they ran into him in there and he got jumped. So, the word that is out there right now that he actually threw his hands and handled himself, like, you know what I'm saying? It was he fought back, like he didn't, lay down and take that, you know what I'm saying? He threw his hands. So, and it's allegedly a video of this incident. It's not out as of yet as we speak. I've been looking for it, but who knows? It'll probably be out within the next 24 hours, knowing the internet. But yeah, Joe Budden jumped in a Queen strip club allegedly over disrespecting incarcerated podcaster Taxstone. So I came in just to tap in for a few minutes to talk about this situation. Another unfortunate situation, and out here. Joe likes to frequent the strip clubs. You know what I'm saying? I think he may be getting a little too big for places like this. Not that he's getting too big for places like that, but usually when you see him out, he's not with security. So someone that's worth millions of dollars, he's worth millions of dollars at this point. He got one of the biggest podcasts in America. It's about time that he get himself some security as well, because he likes to move around. He likes the titty bars. You know what I'm saying? So yeah, man, that's unfortunate, man. Like, all this foolishness need to stop anyway. And if you're not familiar with Taxstone, when he was out here, he was a notorious troll. That's the origins of everything that took place with Troy Ave. Trolling, disrespecting people on the internet, and not understanding that you're going to run into this world is small. You might run into these people. So you ran into these people somewhere and things escalated, and what happened, and now you tricked off the street. You out of here for the rest of your days. And if you do get out, you're going to be in your 70s. You know what I'm saying? It's damn near 80 years old. So it's like not even worth it, man. So he tricked himself off the street, but he was a notorious troll when he was out here. He was trying to be on his shock jock movement, and he was critical and talking a lot trash about Joe Budden, even at one point having Joe Budden on his podcast. And while Joe Budden was there, he was trying to push for the drama type of questions, which Joe had been involved with a video model. I want to say her name was Esther Baxter, and she alleged that Joe was physically abusive and verbally abusive to her and held her down and punched her in the stomach and things like that. So he was going for the shock jock thing because he had Joe on his platform, and Joe wasn't given. Joe is a master spinner, and he know how to talk around stuff. So he was trying to get the juicy story because he had Joe Budden on his podcast, and Joe just wasn't going for it and was playing semantics and not really giving him what he wanted. So he became frustrated and got on his loose cannon-ish because he couldn't get what he wanted from Joe. And then he started to disrespect Joe on the podcast, and Joe left out of there because he was screaming like, "Who do you think he's talking to? You can't fool me. I'm not none of these people." But he really was frustrated because he couldn't get what he wanted out of the situation. So that's some of the history with those two. So even, there's been a little back and forth over the years between the two, despite Taxstone being in jail, it's been like back and forth. It was just recently back and forth between them. But yeah, he did invite Taxstone to the Frank stand. That did happen. But and he told him that you got what you deserve. You in there for being a troll and being stupid and then causing all this to happen. You basically sunk your own self. You tricked your own self off the street, trying to be a troll on the internet. And you know what I'm saying? We see it every day. So, but what I came to talk about is with Joe Budden. I was just watching another podcaster, Gully TV. He said, I don't know why people don't like Joe Budden. Me neither. And this is the thing with Joe Budden, right? I feel like when people think someone is soft, or when people think someone is, they usually try to bully him and use him like a punching bag. Ever since that thing happened with Raekwon, you've seen an increase in people trying to attack Joe Budden, whether verbally or physically, and just trying to handle him any kind of way. Because in that situation, he was allegedly struck in his face by, well, I ain't gonna say allegedly, everybody know about that. The guy came out and talked about it. He was struck by one of one of Raekwon's homeboys in the side of his face, and he allegedly he didn't do anything back. So when you don't do anything back, it's like, oh, now the wolves are on you now. Everybody after you now. So I feel like since that situation, everyone sort of tries to handle Joe Budden a certain type of way based off of that because they think he's a coward or a punk. People do things with him that you don't see them do to other people. People have problems in hip hop all the time. In this culture, hip hop culture, these rappers, they constantly having problems with other rappers. But those problems don't usually end in that manner. But when these problems involve certain people, when they involve Joe, it's almost an attempt to immediately escalate it to physical violence because they feel like he's soft. Case in point, the Migos. Like you saw how Joe Budden wanted to wrap up the interview. Okay, he want to wrap up the interview. He don't want to talk to me. You don't got to talk to me. You know what I'm saying? But they jumped up and wanted to escalate it into a physical situation. But at the same time, somebody must have told them about Bone Thugs because there were no attempts to escalate that into something physical. So, these dudes out here got picks and chooses. When they feel like somebody's soft, they try to go for, the easy target. And so since that happened with Joe Budden, it seems to be a trend of trying to come at him a certain way and automatically get on a certain type of level with the dude because he, I guess, ain't no fighter or he ain't no bully, he ain't no rah-rah type dude. If you look at what Joe Budden does, especially now, he's in the media. He's a podcast owner. He covers the culture. Joe Budden ain't never done nothing bad, nothing out of pocket. He ain't done nothing but give his opinion just like other people. But his opinion is usually a little more honest than the average person. And he's going to say the truth. And, the truth ain't never been popular. The truth ain't never been popular. And people don't like hearing the truth. So they come down on him for that. He ain't doing nothing no more than nobody else. When Taxstone was out here talking about everybody, and this is allegedly why he was jumped the other night. So Taxstone, so nobody ever got their feathers ruffled over Taxstone talking. You know, they did, but it didn't result in nothing. Was everyone trying to attack Star and Buck Wild back in the day? No. Was everybody trying to attack Howard Stern? No. Like, these is people who've said crazy things. These are shock jocks. I don't look at anything that Joe ever says as super shocking or super disrespectful. It's just the fact that he comes off as soft. And the first time we heard of him being in a physical confrontation was when he was struck and punched by Raekwon's homeboy at Rock the Bells, and he didn't do nothing back. So ever since then, there's a trend of trying to get on a certain type of time with him because he's not confrontational, and he's not, I guess, not a fighter. Not saying he can't fight, because allegedly he threw his hands in there, and despite getting jumped, he held his own. So, they might think that he can't fight, but it might be a little inkling here. Just because somebody quiet don't mean they can't fight. Don't ever think that, because I done seen some quiet motherfuckers whoop ass. So allegedly he held his own down, and he was jumped by several people for inviting Taxstone to the Frank stand. Hit the like button, like, share, and subscribe to this. So yeah, if you're just tapping in, Joe Budden was jumped in the Queen strip club by several men last night for allegedly, well, not allegedly, he did invite Taxstone, incarcerated podcaster Taxstone, the one that got caught up and crashed out in the situation with Troy Ave, Irving Plaza, New York City, 2017. And one of Troy Ave's friends ended up dying, and several people were shot. Inviting him to the Frank stand. And I guess these people were associates, is what's being said. These people were associates of Taxstone, and they were fighting him and jumping him, and they said they were screaming Taxstone's name. And, I don't know when the tape is going to come out, but it's allegedly footage of it. And if it was in a strip club, it's definitely footage. So Joe needs security, but bottom line is, man, that man ain't saying nothing or doing nothing no worse than nobody else is. They just got him pinned and figured to be, in their minds, a coward and a punk and an easy target and soft. So people come at him a certain way. Ever since that thing happened with Raekwon, back in the days at Rock the Bells, everyone has jumped out the window for a physical confrontation with Joe Budden and to threaten Joe Budden, all for having an opinion or speaking his mind about things, which everyone does. The dude ain't politically correct at all. You know what I'm saying? He whatever he sees, he tends to call a spade, and it's no harm in that. It's just the people not being able to handle the truth. So they take it a certain way. But yeah, man, at this point, it's like, I hate to say it because it's a grown ass 40-something-year-old man, but he's getting bullied at this point. And I hate to say it, but Joe Budden got every right to start opening fire out this motherfucker, because anything he says is, oh, I'm gonna do this to you, oh, I'm gonna do this, or let's meet up, it's automatically escalates to the next level over anything he say. And it could be something so small and trivial. He cannot, you see the whole thing that jumped off, it didn't get physical, but you see the whole thing that jumped off just because he said he wasn't a fan of one of Eminem's albums. Anything Joe Budden, now how many people wasn't a fan of an album before? Raise your hand. You know what I'm saying? So everything somebody say shouldn't result in beef and drama, and definitely them getting hands put on them. So basically, yeah, they got this dude figured out to be some type of punk or a coward, and they just come at him a certain type of way. And personally, in my opinion, it's corny, man. It is super corny. So if you remember, Taxstone had a history, like I said earlier, a history of trolling and talking down on people and talking bad to people, getting in business that wasn't his. He created a whole little negative aura around what he was doing. Troy Ave was just one of the people. Joe, he did that with Joe along the way. He even did an interview with Beanie Siegel and doubled back and tried to talk crazy about Beanie Siegel. Like, this is what this dude did. So, and what happens was, in real life, like, people be out here trolling and playing, like we was just talking about on the Charleston White thing. People be out here trolling and playing, but everybody ain't playing. So when you get out in this real world and you run into these motherfuckers, you better be ready to stand on something. You know what I'm saying? So he was doing that and he tricked himself off the street. You see where he at now. Somebody died. You ain't here no more. You had a promising career. You could have been a millionaire by now. You know what I'm saying? Along with Joe. And you in there. So then even behind the wall, he's still talking about Joe Budden. That was Joe Budden last thing he said. He said, look, man, the same thing you doing now is the same thing you was doing back then when you was popping. You was supposed to be somewhere. You had somewhere to be. You was on your way to the bag, but you couldn't stop being a troll. You couldn't stop trying to act like the tough guy. You couldn't stop trying to act like the gangster. You feel me? You was supposed to drop that once you started having that motion and that bag was looming over your head, because it was looming, because he was interviewing with them names was getting bigger and bigger. He had Meek on the platform, everybody. You know, you was on your way, bro, but you felt the need to keep trolling and keep playing gangster. He said that's the same thing that got you in the situation you in now, and you deserve to be there. And he did, and he has invited him to the Frank stand. And he's another person that's been bullying Joe, so he got every right to say what he want to say with him. Now, I don't agree with inviting no man to the Frank stand. That's highly disrespectful. Even I had a situation, somebody did that to me on the internet, and I seen him in the bank, and you know, motherfucker started trying to, you know, waited till security came. I said, hey, ain't you the one on the internet told me da, 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 da. No, so that's not you. So your name is not such and such? No. You married? Right? Ain't you married? You got a wife named such and such? Because I went to school where no, he denied his whole life. Then he started acting tough. I'm like, what? I said, something ain't right. Took a step back, looked to the side, out my side view, security coming out. I said, that's why you did that. And you know what I'm saying? So when you doing this stuff on the internet, just realize you might run into these motherfuckers one day. You know what I'm saying? But he didn't do nothing wrong. Somebody trolling him and you know, bullying him, and he spoke out about it. So they seen him and they jumped him in the club. Joe Budden was jumped in the strip club by Taxstone Associates. And from what I understand, he held his own. You know what I'm saying? Damn, there's an alert about it right now. So I guess it's making his rounds. So he got jumped in the strip club, you know, last night, but it's corny though. He ain't took no L. Jumping ain't never a L. If you get jumped, that ain't no L. So that don't count. Now the Raekwon situation, that was a L, but he ain't took no L. He got jumped. You know what I'm saying? You know, so yeah, man, we coming up on a 20-minute mark right here. I just tapped in just to talk about that. But yeah, man, it's at the point now where dude getting bullied. They bullying him. They just feel like he's soft, and they come at him a certain type of way. Joe Budden ain't the only one said something about Taxstone. You know what I'm saying? Or anybody, you know. But they carry him a certain type of way, man. It's really crazy, like especially when you start getting up here in this industry and these guys is getting money and they in positions of power and they in positions that they should be happy to be in, and you know what I'm saying, it's a good positive thing, and they just can't put the bullshit to the side. Now I'm willing to bet the guys that jumped them wasn't nobody of any caliber. They was just some little rinky-dink motherfuckers from the neighborhood, Ray and Bobby and them. You know what I'm saying? Got nothing going on. And I doubt Taxstone even told him to do it. You know what I'm saying? They just did it for clout. You know, and that's jealousy, because it's probably like, okay, there's somebody here. Our homeboy had beef with him, but look at him. He got money. He a millionaire. So we going to jump him. And we going to try to say that it's about our homeboy, but really and truly, it be jealousy, man. These motherfuckers be mad when they see somebody with some motion and some money, and they want to just start trouble with him. You know what I'm saying? Why is his opinion of less value and so much more rejected than the average person, when I don't see him say anything super out of pocket? He ain't calling y'all niggas bitches, hoes. He ain't talking about your mama. He ain't talking about your daddy, your kids, or nothing. He just said, I've heard him say, oh yeah, I don't like this album. Oh, this person was like this. And it's just a regular, everyday, ordinary opinion, and they want to jump on this man's ass and attack him. You know what I'm saying? bro, they got you figured and pinned to be a coward and a punk. At this point, this been going on for years, ever since the Raekwon situation. Everybody just super hyper aggressive with you and want to get physical. Bro, it's about time you start taking some precautions for your own safety, Joe Budden. If you, I hate to see it because I don't want to promote violence and brothers killing each other. But at the end of the day, man, if you ain't going to, get right and lay something flat, you're a millionaire. You need to invest in some security or something, bro. You need to invest in some security. You know what I'm saying? That's how I look at it. But ain't nobody about to be fucking with me nowhere I go, let alone everywhere I go. You know what I'm saying? So he got to walk on eggshells. Like, he got so many people want to fight him just for having an opinion that everybody else got. So something about that opinion be stinging. But I know it's truth. I know truth is stinging, motherfucker. Hurt their feelings. You know what I'm saying? But yeah, man, Joe, but like, share, subscribe, man. Joe Budden jumped in the strip club last night. Hopefully we'll see. I don't know if the tape is gonna come out. Allegedly they want some money for the tape, so I don't know if the tape gonna come out, but it ain't gonna be long before we see what happened. So yes, by several men. So salute to Joe Budden, man. He doing great things out here in the podcast world. Got one of the most popping shows and podcasts in the nation. Salute to him, man. He getting that money, man. But hey, bro, you guys time to protect yourself, man. You gotta do something. Motherfuckers, then you got the thing with consequence. Motherfucker hit Joe from behind on TV. So they just carry it a certain way with this dude, man. Yeah, it's crazy. Anyway, man, Big IV, Big Foe, by the people, for the people. Like, share, and subscribe to the channel, man. Ivy the real only at Gmail, business inquiries, show topics, feedback, whatever. Same thing. Ivy the real only on IG and TikTok. Salute to everybody. You want to support the channel, the Cash App is $JBARMS. Subscribe to the channel. Subscribe to Dread Marley 510. You know, all same thing, Dread Marley 510 on the Cash App. You know what I'm saying? So, hey, man, thank y'all for tapping in. I just came in here a few minutes, talk about that little situation. I'm running some errands on Sunday afternoon right here. I got to go cook and do some other shit, man, and do some laundry. So salute to everybody, man. Hope everybody doing good. I appreciate everybody for tapping in, and I appreciate everybody for their continued support of this platform, man. But I'm gonna go ahead and get up out of here. One.